Hi, PerspectaWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Friday, November 16th. Well, the first winter storm of the season has winded down in D.C. and Philadelphia, at least in terms of precipitation. Still some gusty winds this morning. Across New York City, some light rain continues, or even a wintry mix. That should end over the next hour or two, and they'll become partly sunny as well with some gusty winds. Will remain colder than normal throughout the day today, and in fact it looks like colder than normal for the next several days. Temperatures this afternoon confined to the 40s, below normal for this time of the year. There will certainly be some melting taking place this afternoon. Then watch for some refreezing late tonight, early tomorrow morning. Certainly low temperatures even in the big cities of D.C., Philly, New York City, down to freezing or below by late tonight. Upper 20s, lower 30s, so watch for some black ice late tonight, early tomorrow. Looks like, again, colder than normal weather, but relatively quiet weather pattern for the next several days. In terms of snowfall from the first winter storm of the season, D.C. metro region saw 1.4 inches at Reagan National Airport, 3 inches at Dulles. Philadelphia and New York City metro regions generally a range from 3 to as much as 6 or 7 inches or so. 3.6 officially at Philadelphia International Airport, 5 inches at King of Prussia, 6 inches at Westchester in Chester County of southeastern Pennsylvania. Central Park in New York City came in with 6.4 inches and 4.8 inches at JFK. Unfortunately, the timing of this first snow event of the season was terrible for the Philadelphia and New York City metro regions. Everybody got into work early in the day, then the accumulating snow fell in the midday and afternoon, and evening rush hour was basically a nightmare across Philadelphia and New York City. Here's the current surface weather map. Low pressure situated over New Jersey will continue to push to the north and east over the next few hours. Basically, high pressure will take over. Partly sunny skies for the rest of today, gusty winds, and colder than normal temperatures. And here's a current radar loop. Again, dry right now in Philadelphia and D.C., but still some precipitation lingering across the New York City metro region, either in the form of plain rain or some ice pellets mixed in as well. That pulls away over the next hour or two, and they'll become partly sunny. Already partly sunny in D.C. and Philadelphia, and it'll remain so for the rest of today. Well, I thought we'd focus in on the temperature forecast over the next 6 to 10 days or so. During the winter outlook that we posted in October, we highly emphasized the low solar activity and its pretty high correlation with high latitude blocking. High latitude blocking is an atmospheric phenomenon where higher pressure than normal resides over places like Greenland, Iceland, northeastern Canada, and that in turn lets cold air masses drop southeastward from central and northern Canada into the central and eastern U.S. Really was a linchpin in our colder than normal and snowier than normal winter outlook for much of the eastern half of the nation. This happens to be the 500 millibar anomaly forecast map for next Tuesday morning from last night's ensemble run of the GFS. Just tremendous high latitude blocking here, represented by this purple and red. This is higher than normal heights, higher than normal pressures over places like Greenland, which is right in this region right here, and basically much of the polar region. Meanwhile, deep upper level troughs situated over eastern Canada, and look at this flow of air. And this is kind of a pattern that I expect to see a lot of over the winter season, with high latitude blocking, thanks in part to that low solar activity, and trough over the eastern U.S. Cold air flows from northern and central Canada into the central and eastern U.S., and hence colder than normal conditions, in this case through Thanksgiving week, and often will be the case during the upcoming winter season. By the way, this week was really pretty amazing across the country in terms of cold and snow. Places like Houston, Texas, Monroe, Louisiana, for example, had their earliest measured snowfall ever. D.C., yesterday, the first measurable November snow since 1996. So quite an amazing week for mid-November in terms of cold and snow through much of the eastern half of the nation. Again, this colder than normal pattern looks like it'll continue right through next week and through much of the winter season the way I see it. Well, in terms of the current 5-day period, the 2-meter temperature anomalies from the same ensemble running the GFS last night at 6Z. Look at this. Colder than normal throughout the eastern 2/3 of the nation. Again, that's the current time period we're in. And by the way, this morning, there's some record or perhaps near record or record lows down in the deep south. So very cold air mass for this time of the year. Colder than normal conditions for the this entire 5-day period. Let's now jump ahead to the 6 to 10 day outlook. And here we go from the 6Z GFS ensemble run. Colder than normal conditions for much of the eastern half of the nation for the days 6 to 10. This encompasses the most of Thanksgiving week, including next Thursday, Thanksgiving Day itself. So even though we have a quieter pattern setting up for the next several days, it looks like it stays colder than normal, not only this weekend, but through Thanksgiving week in the eastern half of the nation. That's it for now. For PerspectaWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.